Good early morning, and I do mean early. It is somewhere after 7, probably close to 7:30. I originally woke up at 6:25, 6:30, and I rolled over, tried to go back to sleep, and about 6:52, thereabouts, my brain and body were like, no, we're not going back to sleep. Body was hurting, my back, my knees, my knuckles, almost arthritic type pain, but severe arthritic pain. And my mind was going a mile a minute, so I decided to get up. Now, I'm not usually one for being up and mobile, let alone functioning properly at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's been a while since I've ever been up this early. So, of course, my usual routine: get up, get my cup of tea, maybe a bite to eat, depending on if I'm hungry or not, and doing whatever. Usually it's Bible study, but sometimes, depending on how my brain is working or what my brain's doing, it depends on how soon I do that. You honey. So, I'm up. I'm letting Jerry sleep because I don't like waking her up if I don't have to, or if her breathing is abnormal. We both have seasonal allergies and breathing issues during that time. That affect her. My I guess my overly concern about her well-being sometimes causes me to go, this doesn't sound right. But all in all, we're in good health. I'm not back to normal. I'm actually improved normal. Yes, a lot of you, I didn't get to read all your comments about Thursday night. A lot of you, from what I read, were not exactly happy, but you weren't like irately angry. And that's your take on the situation. I know a lot of people watch videos, and I know my videos can be a little long-winded, but a lot of people watch videos and they only take half of the content out. So I am going to try to do two things. One, I am going to try to explain to you the positive and negative ramifications, or however you want to put it, from that night. Yes, I was drunk. Yes, I got a little loud. Yes, I got a little belligerent. Yes, I got a little... yeah, I'll say the word rude. But the benefit of what happened was I got a lot of things, work and home related, off my chest. Now, what exactly was said, I cannot give you exact details because I do not remember all the exact details. I just remember that when Jerry Ann and I finally started talking, roughly 2 hours after I got drunk and started basically ranting and raving to myself and getting a lot of personal stuff off my chest, it was not exactly... wasn't exactly home related. A lot of it was just life related for me. And then towards the middle of my 3-part release, I guess you'd say, Jerry came out because of the fact that I started crying. I'm only human. I only have so much control over. Oh, excuse me. I only have so much control over my life. The other parts that I do not have control over, well, let's just say when you're in the middle of a, for lack of better words, shitstorm of stress and anxiety and a lot of different emotions, and you don't seem to have the chance or ability to release your anxieties and emotions and whatnot in a desired manner, whether it's get away from everything just to unwind, or sleep until the cows come home, or whatever your need is for releasing your anxieties. I had literally spent, up until Thursday, I had literally had weeks, maybe more, of dealing with negative, non-positive, basically, I had been going to work, busting my butt, coming in the next day to find on a log my manager complaining about one thing or another, and nobody, and I literally mean nobody, doing anything to fix the issue. It felt like, I don't know if it was, it felt like and looked like it was all being left for the night crew to deal with. Then the Culvert 19 situation hit, and even though we had a checklist of every 2 hours to every 4 hours doing a cleaning, sanitizing stuff, new routine. Granted, the daytime person remarked that they did it, but like I've tried to explain before, Monday through Friday, when the supervisor, manager, boss, whatever you want to call this person, was there, it looked like it was getting done. It looked like 90% of the stuff was being worked on, while there was a 10% of stuff that customers don't see, like cooler stocking and whatnot. Didn't look like it was getting done, even though everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we did it." I'm like, I'm 48 years old. I was raised in the military. BS 101 was a prerequisite for living within the confines of the military lifestyle. So I learned BS 101 by the time I was knee high to a grasshopper. So you can't tell me you did it, and then when I look and go, no. But that's kind of a two-way street too, because the manager's not there, and when she comes in, if it doesn't look like it's done, or she's not looking properly to see if it was done or not. So it pre-Thursday was a lot of overly concern on my part, taking too many things seriously, not just kind of like letting it slide type thing. But then I was off Friday. I went in last night. And I went in last night and I saw, it wasn't the primary, it wasn't the manager of the store. It was one of the assistant managers who wrote the notes for, I guess, what they saw when they came in Saturday morning. Well, I wasn't there, but they weren't that bad. It was just, minor things here and there. So here I am Sunday. Well, yeah. The only thing that I can have a complaint for on yesterday was both assistant managers were there yesterday morning, but neither one of them went to the bank. So by the time I left the store, they only had 5 stacks of ones, no tens, no fives. So I'm like, well, at least I'm not working Sunday because I won't have to deal with that headache, unless somebody was smart enough to have reserve change someplace. I don't think so, but again, that's me. But other than some of the complaints, or something, I shouldn't say complaints. Some of the things that I read yesterday morning, evening, whatever, on my Thursday post, I will again, and I'll say this on camera because I said it in a comment or a reply. I'm not like most people. I've been telling this same story for all my life. I seem to have not reverse osmosis. That would be the wrong word. My biological makeup, let's just put it that way. My biological makeup is not your textbook average biological makeup. Here's the reason why. As far back as I can remember, I go to sleep, my body temperature rises. I become a living, breathing human heating pad. My wife can contest to this. The first time I went out drinking, or got drunk, I should say, or attempted to get drunk, I can consume the alcohol, and I can consume it in quantity. Like, for instance, Thursday, I drank a full bottle of mead, honey wine, basically. Now, a lot of people will think, oh, well, wine is not that intoxicating. Yes and no. This is why I say yes and no. Because when I got done consuming that bottle and went to get up to go pee, when I first stood up, I had that initial spin of, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm drunk. But the second I started moving forward and the locomotion of my body started moving, the effects of the alcohol that most people have dissipated. Like the first time I went out and got drunk, the same thing. Everybody was thinking, oh my God, he drank so much he's going to pass out. No, I got up, stood there for a moment, let my body orientate itself, and moved to the bathroom or moved to wherever I was going. I never drove drunk. I'm not that foolish. And everybody was like, how can he do this? Where did he put all the alcohol? Where's the effects? There were very little to none. Never got sick. The only time I've ever gotten sick off of alcohol was actually, I was back in the 80s, so I was like 9, 10. Somewhere between the ages of 9 and 11. My father and I went to a train station to pick up my cousin, his fiance, his friend, and the friend's fiance who were backpacking through Europe. And we stopped in a little bakery, and my dad got this. I asked for it, not realizing what was in it. I just saw chocolate. I did not realize that the word liqueur was attached to the title of this item. But anyhow, it was a bottle with chocolate liqueur in it. Bit into it, spat it out because it tasted nasty. I wasn't ready for the taste of the liqueur part. My wife and I, we do have our struggles. We do have our issues. We do have our misunderstandings. We have everything that any couple has. Now, granted, we've been married going on 21 years. No, 20 years. Yeah, going on 20 years. We've been married since 2000, August of 2000. We still have our struggles. We still have our issues. We still have our arguments. We still have our struggles. I am fairly sure, I am 90% sure, that even couples who've been together for 40, 50 years still have their issues. It's part of life. You have two different people who have two different ideas of how to do one project or one thing. So, yes, there is going to be misunderstanding and struggles because, Vector, you're trying to make, or not make, I hate using that word right now. You're trying to get the other person to see your vision. And if you're like me, you have struggles getting the imagery from point A to being able to get the words out from point B so the other person can understand where you're coming from. Because of those issues, those are my personal issues, but because of those psychological, vocal issues, whatever you want to call them, when she starts to put her vision out in the open, it somehow makes my brain go, oh, she's trying to take it over again. She's not seeing what I'm seeing. So I have an issue. And yes, it is my issue. Some of you might think, oh, you just need to go see psychological or professional help. Jayann has said the same thing. My problem with that is because of my mid to late teens and all the problems I had because of seeing psychiatrists and seeking professional help for my homicidal, I wouldn't say homicidal, my self-destructive nature at the time. And yes, unfortunately, I still have a somewhat self-destructive nature, but it's not as bad or as constant as it was back then. But anyhow, watch my videos in my past. You'll hear me talk about the fact that I went to seek help. And what they did to me was a combination of counseling, near overdose and medication, and 6 different times in an actual psychological behavioral health type hospital. Never went into a padded room, never went into a straitjacket, just went into I guess you'd say a temporary live-in hospital where you were counseled and went through different programs. Ended up going through AA once. I've been through it all. Back then, maybe because of my stubbornness, it wasn't helping. Now, I don't think I need to go into a actual live-in situation. Maybe I do need to go seek a counselor. Problem I have with any of that kind of stuff, and it's the same problem I had in the past when I figured it out. Your everyday average counselor that has gone through the medical training and professional and all the different years worth of school, they try to psychoanalyze you via a textbook situation. Even the first, was he my first or second? I can't remember. But even the first one I went to, who was a gentleman who had to be at least 50, 60 years old, maybe older, I think he was trying to use textbook situations. I learned by that time, if not a little bit before, when you're dealing with me, take your textbook, toss it out the window. I am something the textbook has probably never seen before. Because in order to psychoanalyze somebody, You have to be able to get to know that person. You have to get to know all their intricacies, their personality, their ins and outs. You can't use a textbook to just have somebody come in who's got ADD, ADHD, the whole gambit. I have hyperactivity. I have a learning disability, which I've learned to work with. I have stubbornness issues. I have, if I'm not interested in what's going on, I'm easily sidetracked by a bird flying past the window, a sound that I need to figure out what it is. You know, that's one of the reasons why I have issues with being disturbed while I'm doing one of these videos, like you saw in my last video. I think I posted that video. Yeah, I posted it yesterday. Um, I have memory issues. I can sit here and read every single one of the books I have up here on my shelf. Well, not every single one of them, but most of them. Some of them are Jerry's. I can read every single one of these books, and in a couple months, I might forget finite details, but once I pick up the book and start reading the first half of a chapter, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Anyhow, this was not really supposed to be just a rant session. This was supposed to be something else, but I'll probably end up putting up multiple videos today, or, yeah. Multiple videos today, or at least one video today, and one video tomorrow, and then a third one if I make the third one. If I make a third one. But anyhow, this has been a 22-minute, just me chatting. So I'm going to try to end this so it's not 30 minutes long. For those of you who are concerned, me and Jerry have sat down. We talked Friday. Yeah, we talked Friday about some of the stuff that I basically let out. Unfortunately, some of it I let out kind of affected Jerry in a, I wouldn't say negative way, but she got concerned and started putting her through a thought process of sorts, I guess. She started to ask if I want to talk about some of it, and I do, but I don't. Because the reason why I say I do, I don't, is because I do because some of it was enlightening, but I also don't because some of it I don't want to say it was harmful to our relationship, but some of it is kind of like, not that it should not have come out in the open, but it should not have come out the way it did. And let's just say I've been very apologetic towards Jerry for it, because a lot of it was personal issues on my side. But a lot of it, the getting her to understand that the way I was raised was not to be a yes or no person. It was just basically, you ask me to do something, I'm basically going to do it until I'm either hurting in a hospital or 6 feet under. Because I guess it's the military mentality of you just do what you're asked to do, and at home, basically, I don't complain that much. Well, I do complain, but I don't complain about what's happening at home. I complain about what's happening at work. What happens at home stays at home. She now understands that when I come home from work or when I first wake up is not the best time to ask me to do something. And because the factor, she has mobility issues. That's not a problem, okay? But the thing is because I've basically am getting at that point where I've got a bad back due to a herniated lower lumbar. My knee, both my knees are starting to go from all the squatting and all the basically being getting down low to get stuff for work or here at the house or whatever. And I'm 48, but I can tell that I'm getting arthritis in my shoulder, my elbows, my knuckles, my ankles. Um, and maybe that's because of the fact that when I was younger, I was a rough and tumble, hyperactive, climb up a tree, fall out of a tree, climb over the edge of a crib and fall over and hit my head on a mahogany wood floor in the Philippines. The only thing I have never done, and I'm kind of thankful for it, is try to climb a mountain and fall. I've climbed plenty of trees and fallen out of those. I did a lot of rough stuff as a kid. So she's starting to see things from, I guess, a deeper perspective towards me or towards my problems, issues, whatever you want to call it. And I've been trying to see her side of it and whatnot, and I think for me, a lot of my issues are a fear of the future because I am 2 years older than my father was when he finally passed away. 46, almost 46. He was just about ready to turn 46 when he passed away. I am heading towards 49. I don't know what to expect from my future. I don't know what to look forward to or worry about or what am I supposed to be doing. And this is going to be a 30-minute. I just looked at the time. It's going to be 30 minutes. I'm sorry. Anywho, yeah, I'll go ahead and just stop here. Sorry for the video to be such a long video. If you enjoyed it or got any kind of information or perspective that you liked, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. I will try to read those. I'm getting more and more of them now, so I'm going to have to start writing them down. If you're new to my channel and you want to see the upcoming videos, go ahead and tap that bell. It will basically inform you when I put in a new video. And until next time, God bless and have a good day.